Hello, good morning dear students. Welcome to E-Class of Accounts Standard 12. Today we will start up with the next topic, chapter number 5, Accounting Ratios and their Analysis. Okay, so let us start up with the concept first. What do we mean by accounting ratios? All of us are very well knowing about it. See, very easy chapter, very conveniently we can do this. Let us go for its theoretical part first. It is one of the tools which can be used to analyze the different elements of financial statements. Now, all of you know what do we mean by financial statements? Financial statements mean P&L and balance sheet. Whatever items or whatever information is available in these statements, by making use of them when we decide or analyze those information, for that purpose a tool is used, and that tool is known as accounting ratio. It is nothing but a mathematical tool which is used to establish a relationship between two distinct items to understand their behavior, or in simple words, a relationship between two accounting figures expressed mathematically. दो अकाउंटिंग फिगर्स को जब मैथमेटिकली एक्सप्रेस करते हैं, इट इज नोन एज अकाउंटिंग रेशियोज और फाइनेंशियल रेशियोज. For example, if anyone wants to know what is the short-term liability, then in that case, short-term funds or short-term assets of business which are available in these financial statements are taken as the base to find out their relationship or to know the status of the business. Okay, so let us study them in detail. Let us go to next topic. Then if these ratios are expressed, how they are expressed? These ratios are expressed in a pure form, that is ratio, then in percentage form, in times form, so many times, turnover बोलते हैं, times or turnover, in fraction form. These are the ways to express the ratios. Let us understand it from the point of view of our textbook. Presentation of ratio can be in a proportion form, in a percentage, time, fraction, even in form of days, week, months, that is time period. इस तरह से रेशियो प्रेजेंट किए जाते हैं. मीन्स जो आंसर आता है रेशियो से वो किसी भी तरह का हो सकता है, either in proportion or in percentage or in times or in fraction. Depends upon the information given in the question. Let us take one example of it, like proportion. See, current ratio in this, current assets are divided by current liabilities. Directly the result which we get, that is in proportion. इसका आंसर आता है 1:5:1. Like that in proportion it is mentioned. Further, if you move percentage, like NP ratio, this shows the net profit upon sales into 100 is the formula for it. Now, simply net profit upon sales into 100, the result which you get, that is in percentage. The second form of it can be in percentage. So, it depends upon the formula which result you are getting. Like stock turnover. Here, cost of goods sold upon average stock. So, 3 lakhs upon 1 lakh gives you answer in turnover. Times, कितनी बार एक साल में रोटेट हो रहा है स्टॉक? 3 times. Okay. Fraction 2/3 करके आंसर आता है. Days, week, months, collection period, payment period, that goes in days or week or month, depends how we find out. So this way we have gone through this topic. What was this topic? Presentation of ratio. So presentation of ratio can be in a percentage, in proportion, in times, in fraction, or in days. Let us move on with very important next concept of ratio, chapter number 5, that is classification. Please all of you keep this in mind that here ratios can be classified into 2 categories majorly. पता है इनको 2 categories में, that is traditional, that is exclusively on the basis of statement of accounts. Second, functional, basis of the functions of the business. Both we will understand. First we will understand traditional classification. Okay dear students. Traditional. Some ratios purely use the information which is from trading and PL only. So that are known as on the basis of trading and PL. Some ratios use the information only of balance sheet. So those are known as on the basis of balance sheet. But there are the third category type of ratios also which use information from trading, PL and balance sheet. So these are known as composite ratios. Which are these ratios? Composite, which use information that is from the trading PL as well as from the balance sheet. Okay, so let's move on. यहाँ पे एकदम clear है. Some ratios use only trading PL information. They are known as on the basis of on the statement. Some only from the basis of हम जब formula करेंगे ना, we will get more idea. And third category in traditional is composite ratios, means which use the information from both trading PL as well as balance sheet. See, NP ratio, net profit upon sales into 100. तो ये कौन सा हुआ? On the basis of trading and PL. Then सिर्फ balance sheet, debt equity, debt upon equity जब ratio पे find करते, debt equity, only balance sheet, debt also available, equity available, balance sheet. Composite, which use information from both, like debtors turnover, debtors information and sales information, both you want. So trading PL as well as balance sheet दोनों की information use करें तो ऐसे ratios को बोलते हैं composite ratios. I hope this category is clear to you. Let us go for functional distribution also, और हम पूरी details इसी के base पे करेंगे. So let us understand these. Which are these? Majorly, they are classified into 4 categories: profitability, liquidity, solvency, efficiency. Which are these 4 types of functional? Profitability ratios, liquidity ratios, solvency ratio and efficiency ratio. Now in profitability, 4 under profit. See, they represent profit of the firm. Profitability is reflected by them. Okay, GP, operating profit ratio, net profit ratio come under this category. Okay, liquidity ratios represent the liquidity part of the firm. Current and liquid ratios are main objective is to earn profit, so that profitability. To know the quick turning over or the liquid position of the firm, liquidity ratios. Whether the firm is working solvently or not, solvency ratios. That is debt equity, total asset to debt, proprietary ratio, interest coverage ratio. These 4 are solvency ratios. Last but not least is efficiency. Please see, efficiency are of 4 types: stock turnover, working capital, then debtors turnover and creditors turnover. This way we have all ratios covered in this. Okay, now in current year due to COVID-19, some reduction has been done. So completely solvency ratios are eliminated. That means debt equity, total assets to debt, proprietary and interest coverage. ये पूरे 4 के 4 they are deleted from practical part. Okay, knowledge of it is required, but practically they will not be asked. Not only this much, but from profitability, operating profit ratio and operating ratio is not shown. It is not included in your syllabus. Okay, but GP, NP are included, current and liquid are included, and then efficiency all. Stock turnover, working capital turnover, debtors and creditors turnover ratio are included in current year syllabus practically. Even classification is theoretically included, presentation of ratio, whatever we have done in this will be practically included. Let us start or get first idea about these ratios, then we will go about practical part of it. पहले theoretically इनको समझ लेंगे, इसके बाद इसकी practice practically करेंगे. So first in category comes the profitability ratios. Name only suggests the profitability ratios help in knowing the performance of the business. Okay, hence all those ratios which help in analyzing the profitability are known as profitability ratios. We will, in our syllabus here, actually 4 are included. GP ratio, operating profit and NP. But from these 4 also, these 2 are eliminated in current year. Only theoretical concept of it is important to know. Practical concept of it will not be known. Let us start with the first one in this category, GP, as the name suggests, gross profit ratio. It is the ratio which measures the relationship between gross profit and net revenues from operation. Net revenue from operation, again you will say what? Net sales. Okay, net sales. Total sales minus sales written. Okay, that is there. So through this ratio, it indicates the GP earned by the business through sale of their product. Okay, many times businessman goes for it for fixing of selling price. 2 component only, GP and sales, net sales. Or formula to simple hai. Do we need to go here? Formula will be what? GP upon sales into 100. Jitne components hai unhi koi, and it is found in percentage. Very clearly we can find out GP upon net sales into 100. Okay, let us move on in this. ये first ratio है अपना. आगे बढ़ेंगे next video में. Okay, so let us move to next category and understand it. Then we'll together take all practicals. Okay. As discussed in the chart, after GP ratio, next comes operating cost ratio or operating ratio. See, so simple. आपको operating लेने, operating cost. Its components we need to understand first. Here, all direct expenses or indirect expenses are included. Means cost of goods sold plus operating expenses. Only you have to understand one thin line here. What is operating expenses does not include the operating incomes like interest received, dividend received, profit on sale of assets. These are not included in it. Even interest paid, loss on sale of assets are not included. I mean to say, interest expense is a financial expense, not an operation. ऑपरेट करने के लिए बिजनेस को चलाने का खर्चा नहीं है वो, तो इंटरेस्ट एक्सपेंस इज एन नॉन ऑपरेटिंग. सेम मैनर लॉस ऑफ सेल ऑफ एसेट्स is an other expense, not an operating expense. So in operating expenses, such things are not included. Even interest received, dividend received, profit on sale of assets are eliminated as incomes from it to find out operating expense. So that is the first thing we need to understand. Let us understand this concept now. What we are trying to say? It is the ratio which measures the relationship between operating cost and net revenue from operations, that is sales. We will say this ratio indicates the operational efficiency of firm. फर्म कैसे काम करती है, operations की कितनी efficiency है in compared to sales. Cost of operation in compared to sales is found out. Again, इसके 2 ही components हैं, operating cost and net sales. Once again I am telling you, operating cost total will be cost of goods sold plus operating expenses upon sales into 100. ये इसका formula है. What's its formula? I have told you very clearly. What is it? यही cost of goods sold plus operating expenses upon net sales into 100. इसका result आता है percentage में. Okay, the ratio indicates the operational efficiency compared to sales. Here, what is to be kept in the trend? Decreasing. जितना कम होगा उतना अच्छा. जितना कम होगा उतना expenses come in compared to sales. तो operational efficiency is reflected. In this connection only, next is this, that is operating profit ratio. Okay. This shows the relationship between operating profit compared to sales. This ratio is useful to measure the operational efficiency. it shows how efficiently a business can generate a profit. Okay, कितना efficiently business generate कर सकता है. इसमें trend क्या है? जितना ज़्यादा percentage उतना अच्छा. Here trend will be opposite. Since it is income based, so increasing trend is enhancement. जितना increase profit ज़्यादा उतना profit ज़्यादा, enhancement in profit is reflected by it. Okay, so that is there. Please try to understand one thing, its formula, that is operating profit upon sales into 100. जैसा नाम है उसी तरह से. Here it is very clear. Operating efficiency takes in relation between operating profit and sales. That is operating profit upon sales into 100. Now, what do we mean by operating profit? Very easy. Operating profit means sales minus operating cost. सेल्स में से जब ऑपरेटिंग कॉस्ट माइनस करेंगे तो हमको जो मिलता है रिजल्ट, दैट इज ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट. एंड सच ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट ऑन सेल्स इन 200 गिव्स अस ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट. ओके, सो दिस वाज नेक्स्ट वन. ओके, सो लेट्स कंटिन्यू विद द थर्ड वन. 3 covered, fourth one. Now which we will do? We will go for now NP ratio. Okay. Okay, dear students, let us continue with the liquidity ratios. See, the ratios which are basically used to establish a relationship between short-term assets and short-term liabilities. So, this ratio is to check the firm's payment capacity. In short term, how much liabilities can be settled by a firm, whether the firm can pay its short-term liability or not. How is the liquid position? That means how far firm can convert its liquidity. Yeah, conversion into cash is represented by it. Let us see that these type of ratios are two in nature. What are these? Current ratio and liquid ratio. दो ही type के ratios होते हैं. Among them, first current ratio. Yes, current ratio has two elements, current assets and current liabilities. Current assets represent short-term assets. Current liabilities represent short-term liabilities of the firm. बस इन दोनों का relationship, that is current ratio is equal to current assets upon current liabilities. Okay, now answer which we get, that is in proportion. This is to this. इस तरह से लिखा जाता है. So let us once have a theoretical view about it. That is, it is a relationship between current asset and current liability. It is calculated to check the availability of current assets against to pay the liabilities on time. The ratio will be to know whether the firm is able to pay its current liabilities out of its current liability assets. Okay, it is to check the short-term solvency of the firm. Firm की short-term solvency इससे check होती है. Please, let me tell you once again what is included and what is the ideally accepted amount for it. Current assets, you all have idea. Once again, current investments, stock, trade receivables, cash and cash equivalents, all these things, prepaid expenses, accrued interest, advanced tax, please keep these in mind. All these items are known as current assets. Current liabilities भी आपको idea है, short term borrowings, trade payables, short term provisions, bank overdraft, outstanding payments, all these are included in current liabilities. Now, here once again I will say you, what is its ideally accepted? Equal. 1:1 is the ideally accepted in this. अगर आप इसको generally 2:1 proportion means current asset should be twice. Current asset must be twice the current liabilities मानते हैं. That means if the ratio is greater than that standard, it indicates that the loss of interest is there. इसको general ideal माना जाता है. 2:1. Current assets must be twice the current liabilities for safety of the business or short-term solvency of business. Let us even check out one more that are quick assets or liquid assets ratio, liquid ratio exactly. It includes all assets, but from current asset, stock and prepaid expenses are to be removed. आप सारी और चीजें इंक्लूड करेंगे, स्टॉक और प्रीपेड को, वी कैन से दिस इज अ क्विक कन्वर्जन इनटू लिक्विडिटी. ओके, क्विक कन्वर्जन इनटू लिक्विडिटी इज रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय इट. सेम उनको बोलते हैं लिक्विड एसेट्स अपॉन करंट लायबिलिटीज. ओनली फ्रॉम करंट एसेट्स स्टॉक एंड प्रीपेड एक्सपेंसेस आर removed. Stock and prepaid expenses we have to remove and we get. Normally, ideally accepted is 1:1. Means equal होना चाहिए. अगर उससे रेशियो ऊपर नीचे होता है तो इंटरेस्ट का, शॉर्ट टर्म इंटरेस्ट का आदमी फर्म को प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, या उसको पेमेंट का, या उसको इंटरेस्ट लॉस हो रहा है, वो इंडिकेट करता है. आइडियली इट इज सेट क्विक एसेट्स एंड करंट लायबिलिटी शुड बी इन इक्वल प्रोपोर्शन 1:1. General proportion ratio 1:1 is desirable. Okay.